Dear learners, today we are going to talk about a very important term, that is negative capability. Negative capability was coined by Keats in a letter which he wrote to his brothers George and Tom Keats in 1817. In the opening part of the letter, Keats says that the excellence of every art is its intensity, capable of making all disagreeables evaporate. This is a very important statement. The idea is that excellence in art can be achieved when the artist is so intensely involved in his art that everything which is outside it, it is annihilated, it obliterates, it goes away, and he is just focused on his art. Then he can achieve excellence. So the term negative capability, Keats says that he used it for Shakespeare, especially when he was going through the work of Shakespeare, that is King Lear. And he was surprised enormously by the quality of that work. And he says that I thought about the quality which makes man of achievement, particularly or especially in literature, and that Shakespeare possessed so enormously. That is negative capability. And it is while going through the work of Shakespeare that he realized that negative capability is at its peak, at its apex, when Shakespeare created that work. He totally got out of himself. And then he defines negative capability by saying, when a man is capable of being in uncertainties, mysteries, doubts, without any irritable reaching after fact and reason. Now, this definition is very important to understand. This definition, it has various parts. One, that the ability of being in uncertainties, mysteries, doubts. Now, uncertainties, mysteries, doubts, they are having the same connotations. They are having the same shade of meanings, that you are doubtful, you are mysterious, you are uncertain about yourself. Being in uncertainties means that one has got the capability of being forgetful about oneself, being doubtful about oneself in such a way, without any irritable reaching, that you are not irritated by fact and reason. So fact and reason do not disturb you when you are in the state of uncertainty, doubt, or mystery. So this is important to understand that how it happens. Now, this idea of negative capability will become more clear when we relate it to where from it was taken, that is Hazlitt's gusto. And gusto is defined by Hazlitt to be an excitement of the imagination in which the perceptive identification with the object is caught and shared in its full diversity and given vital expression in art. It is power or passion defining any object. Now, understanding of this term, gusto, excitement of the imagination, that imagination gets so much intensely involved, excited means height of your passion and emotions related to something in such a way that the way you are perceiving that object, your identification with the object means you become one with the object in such a way that every aspect of that object, that is in its full diversity, that its different aspects are so much intensely grasped by you that, and then it is expressed in art. So this is what we call as gusto, the power of passion defining any object. That if you are defining an object, you must be so intensely involved with the object that it gets its expression in art. So this is what is important. And Keats says in the same letter that with a pure poet, the sense of beauty overcomes every other consideration. Rather, obliterates every consideration. The same idea that when you are having perception about a beauty, you get so much involved with your senses into that beautiful piece of beauty in that art, that every other thing, it is annihilated, it is obliterated. And you forget about every other consideration and you are involved intensely with your object. Now, if we look at Keats's poetry, especially his great odes, so this is, you see illustrated throughout, especially one of the poems that is Ode to Nightingale, where he says, away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus and his bars, but on the viewless wings of poesy, though the dull brain perplexes and retards. Already with thee. When he says already with thee, he has joined the world of Nightingale, means he has attained negative capability by leaving his world and going into the world of Nightingale. And he says that I will do it not by the agency of Bacchus, not by wine or strong intoxication, but with strong imagination, viewless wings of poetry, that is strength of imagination, and with keen perception, intensity, I will go into the world of Nightingale. And that is what he achieves in the poem. That is what he says, I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus, but on the viewless wings of poesy. The other part of negative capability definition, that without any irritable reaching. So it is beautifully described here. Though the dull brain perplexes and retards, that there is perplexity, confusion by the brain. Brain is never for that. So brain is a hindrance in the way of achieving. But he says in such a way, you are intensely involved that you may be capable of making your brain sleep or get out of the way of achieving your negative capability, becoming one with the object. Now, in another poem, that is Ode on a Grecian Urn, Keats again attains this negative capability through his, when you look at the poem, when you go through the poem, you will come to realize that he becomes one with the figures which are inscribed on the urn. He becomes one with them. And that's why he talks to them. Sometimes he is addressing the bold lover. Sometimes he is addressing other figures, the musician on the urn. And he says that heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Therefore, ye soft pipes play on, not to the sensual ear, but more endeared pipe to the spirit deities of no tone. Now, in Ode to Autumn is again a beautiful poem, and it is complete manifestation of this negative capability, means being completely objective, where he attains, and autumn in its diversity, in its true colors, is beautifully presented by Keats. This idea of negative capability comes very close to idea of Fanaa in mysticism, and which is becoming one with the ultimate reality in such a way that the seeker and the sought, they become one. As an Urdu poet says, अच्छा खासा बैठे बैठे गुम हो जाता हूँ, अब मैं अक्सर मैं नहीं रहता, तुम हो जाता हूँ. And in one of the other places, Keats says, when a sparrow comes before my window, I take part in its existence and pick about the gravel. So this is completely leaving yourself and identify yourself with some other object. That is what we call as negative capability, and that is, it attains it in various points, and that is the concept of negative capability. Hope you have got the idea, and if you like it, please do subscribe and share. Thank you very much.